Feeling stuck financially? One change may be all you need. Today, we're going to reveal some of the most valuable wealth tips at every age and how they can accelerate your journey to financial independence. Let's start with your 20s. The most powerful thing you can do at this stage? Just get started. Here's a stat that might surprise you. The average American begins investing at age 33. That means most people are waiting over a decade after entering the workforce to get serious about building wealth. And that delay, it's costing them literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. And think about it this way. If you can set a little aside each week, each month, each year, you make the uphill battle that much easier for your future self. But how much easier? Let's run the numbers. Say you're out of college and after a few years, you're 25 and finally have enough margin in your life to save and invest. And you set aside $100 a month. Even if you never save beyond that monthly amount, by the time you reach age 65, that will have grown to almost $600,000. But let's say you wait until you're age 33, when the average American starts to invest. To reach that same $600,000 figure, you would need to invest $264 a month. That's right, that's almost 3 times as much just from waiting a few extra years to get started. That's the power of time in the markets. Your 20s aren't about having all the answers or making perfect investment choices. They're about showing up, putting something away, and letting compound interest do the heavy lift and doing what it does best. We'd love to know what age you started to get serious about your money down in the comments. Just let us know. As you move into your 30s, the focus shifts. This is when you need to be intentional about debt. Don't mishear us. I'm not saying that you should be cavalier about debt in your 20s. Debt is often a very normal and sometimes necessary part of your financial journey. And yes, that includes even bad debt. Maybe you financed a car right out of college because you needed reliable transportation to get it to work. That's reality. We're not going to hold it against you. But not all debt is created equal. For example, someone may go the entirety of their 20s with a student loan and even a car loan. But once they hit 30, we have to prioritize and categorize which debt is tolerable in the moment versus hurtful and needs to be extinguished ASAP. Especially when you're young. Compound interest is just too powerful, and it might not make sense to prioritize something like a 4 or 5% student loan over investing when you could go out and earn an 8 to 10% annual rate of return on average just by buying the financial markets. But credit cards always count as high interest. Knock those out. This might mean briefly taking a step back to pay off what we would classify low interest debt, and let's focus on that more hurtful high interest debt. Debt has the potential to derail your financial journey, but you don't have to be a teetotaler. Just make sure you're wielding its benefits responsibly. Your 30s are also about getting strategic with what you owe and making sure it's not holding you back from the wealth you should also be building by maximizing compounding growth. By the time you hit your 40s, something interesting happens. If by this point you've been slowly and steadily building wealth for decades, you might be tempted to try and branch out into something new, some of those new shiny ventures like real estate, stock picking, or other advanced trading strategies. If you're watching this in your 40s and you're still just getting started, you may be tempted to try to make up for that lost time by finding shortcuts. Here's my advice. Don't outsmart yourself. Here's the reality. When you're in your 40s, you're in the prime accumulation years. Your income is likely higher than it's ever been. And you might have 15 to 20 years of compounding already working in your favor. This is not the time to get fancy. Stick with the boring strategy that got you here. Broad-based index funds, consistent contributions, and disciplined saving and investing. Think about it this way. If you have $500,000 saved and you lose 20% chasing that hot investment, you just set yourself back $100,000. That's potentially years of progress wiped out. Remember, the goal isn't to get rich quick. It's to get rich and stay that way. Slow and steady wins the race, especially when you're already halfway to the finish line. Real estate, individual stocks, even crypto, these all can have a place in your well-diversified portfolio, but they shouldn't replace your core strategy. Don't let the excitement of something new or even a smooth sales pitch that this is the way the rich do it sabotage decades of disciplined wealth building. Then you enter your 50s. And this is where patience becomes your superpower. Most people cross the millionaire threshold in their late 40s, right around when retirement starts to feel real. If you can stay disciplined and keep your hands off of your investments, your money could still triple by the time you retire. Let me show you what I mean. The rule of 72 is a simple way to understand this. If you divide 72 by your estimated rate of return, you'll know how many years it takes for you to double your money. For example, if you're 50 years old and earning a 7% average annual rate of return, your money will double in about 10 years. That means by age 60, your portfolio doubles once. Then by 65, it's grown by over 180%. So if you started with $1 million at age 50, you'd have over $2.8 million by retirement. The key is patience. Don't panic, don't try to time the market, and don't sabotage decades of hard work by making emotional decisions. Your 50s are not the time to give up. They're the time to double down on discipline and let compounding growth reap the benefits of decades of hard work. Finally, you reach your 60s, and this is where everything changes. At this stage, it's not about accumulating more, it's about living your why. Financial independence isn't just about having enough money to stop working, it's about having the freedom to live your life on your terms. What supercharges your wealth when you've reached financial independence? And it doesn't matter if you're in your 50s, you're in your 60s, it's the clarity about what you want your money to accomplish. Maybe it's spending more time with grandchildren. Maybe it's traveling to exotic places you've always dreamed of. Maybe it's giving back to causes that matter to you. When you align your wealth with your values and purpose, every dollar becomes that much more meaningful. You've earned the right to enjoy what you've built. Let us know down below in the comments your purpose and what your why is for building this wealth. We're rooting for you. If you want more age-based wealth tips, check out this video. And as always, keep building and working hard towards your great, big, beautiful tomorrow.